Oh, whoa. Hey, now. That's a shocker. Oh. You're not coming in that easy. I didn't think so. Oh, it's so tangled. Another dark one. You're not done. You're trying to fool me. You're not fooling me. It's a cold, slow, kind of hard fishing morning, but you know, you just gotta stay confident and keep casting. It'll happen.
Whether you buy it at the market or you go out and catch it yourself, a whole salmon has a whole lot of meat on it, and I'm not particularly fond of freezing it if I don't have to. So today I'm doing a recipe that's a great way to use up some leftover salmon. It's a delicious, crispy salmon patty that everyone's gonna love. So let's get started. Let's take a look at the ingredients, starting with a pound of cooked and chilled salmon. Now, clearly I don't have a full pound here. I've got some more right over there, but this was by far the prettiest piece that I have. And you can see that this has been grilled and chilled, but it doesn't really matter how you cook your salmon as long as you get it nice and cool before you make the recipe. A baked salmon works really well, and smoked salmon is particularly delicious. I've also got a half cup of finely diced red and yellow pepper, and you can use all of one or the other, doesn't matter. Also a half cup of finely diced onion and a few cloves of minced garlic. Now, as far as flavoring this recipe goes, these three ingredients are kind of mandatory for my taste, but you can really play around after that. For instance, today I'm going to add in a couple of tablespoons of capers. Some other good things to throw in there, maybe some finely diced celery, or some crispy bacon bits or Parmesan cheese, or how about some fresh sweet corn kernels. Really play around with it and make it your own. That's the fun with this kind of recipe. Now, for binding these, I've got around a half cup of dry breadcrumbs, a couple of tablespoons of mayonnaise, and an egg. And I'm also going to throw in some chopped green parsley for a little fresh pop. Now, the first thing I want to do is to saute the vegetables down a little to remove some of the moisture and to get them to start softening up, because the last thing I want is little hard bits in the middles of my patties when they're finished. So let's start with around a tablespoon of butter, or bacon fat would be even better, and we're going to do this over kind of medium heat. Now we're just going to saute the onions and the peppers those capers. Alright, I'm going to add a pinch of salt there. And that's been sauteing for a few minutes. And now I'll put in that minced garlic and let that go for another minute or so, just to warm up that garlic. I do not want it to burn. Boy, the colors are already so pretty. Now, I will take that off the heat and give this a little bit just to cool down. I want this to be about room temperature when I mix this all together. My little veggies are all cooled down, so let's put this together. Now, I've taken the skin off of my salmon, and you could chop this up, but I find it better just to break it off by hand, not too small. I want some nice flakes of salmon in the patty, so I don't want to really smash it down. I'm just gonna bust it up. No giant lumps either, or the patties will break right where I put a big giant lump in there. Check all that for bones. I'm going to put in some fresh ground black pepper. I got a couple of tablespoons of chopped parsley. Those 2 tablespoons of mayonnaise. look for any big, huge lumps of salmon. Okay, we're good. Now I'm gonna put in my dried breadcrumbs. You could use smashed up crackers here too. Oh, that's a half a cup of those dried breadcrumbs. Now once I got this all stirred together, now is the time to check this for seasoning before I put in the raw egg. So, just get a little pinch of that. Get a good pinch of salt in there. Or seasoned salt would be really good here too. Some of that Old Bay would be nice. Now I'll add in the egg. Now this is looking pretty good. It's very moist still. I want to make sure I can form this into a patty and it doesn't fall apart without packing it really tight. That's also something you don't want to really pack them tight or they're going to be very dense. But that looks pretty good. So now I'll form a bunch of these patties and put these out into the fridge to set up for about 30 minutes. I don't want to make these huge, so I'm going to get somewhere between a golf ball and a tennis ball size lump of that, and then just form that into a nice patty that is not too thick, about a ½ inch thick at the most, so they cook nice and evenly and all the way through. If I make them too thick, the outside's gonna burn before the inside is done. That looks just about right for me. Now, I'll set these on this parchment and I'll put this out into the refrigerator for a ½ hour to an hour to give those breadcrumbs time to soak in some of that moisture, and that's gonna help set these up real nice so they don't fall apart when I go to cook them. Now I'm heating up some cooking oil to around medium heat. I don't want it to be too hot or the outsides of these things are gonna burn before they're all the way cooked. Also, I'm not deep frying these, so I just want to get around a ½ inch on the bottom of the pan, so it comes about halfway up on the sides of those patties so I can flip them once and get the whole thing cooked. Seems like this is getting pretty warm now. You can check it by throwing in a breadcrumb, making sure that starts to sizzle right off the bat, and then it doesn't just go up in a puff of smoke. So we're very close, so I'm going to start getting my patties ready. I've got my nice cool patties here. They're nice and firm now, and I'm just going to put a little bit of panko breadcrumbs on the outside to give them a little extra crispy finish. So I'll just put them in there and just gently press those in. Now I'll gently drop these into my pan. That's a nice sizzle, not too intense. Now I just give those a little shake to make sure I got a lot of oil underneath. Then we'll pretty much leave them alone for the next 5 minutes. That's 5 minutes. Let's see if we can flip one of these, see how we're looking. They're kind of delicate, so you want to be careful. Oh boy, that is just about right. That's beautiful. So we'll give that another 5 minutes on that side. And now after that 5 minutes, those are done. I'm going to transfer those to either a wire rack or some paper towels to cool off for a good 5 minutes before I go getting into these. They're real hot still. Let's see how we did, and I'm gonna try this straight up with no sauce or anything. Oh yeah, it certainly looks delicious. Let's give that a try. Oh! Yum! That is absolutely perfect. The crust on the outside has a great crispiness to it. The salmon is so fresh, I don't think you could go wrong no matter what you did with it. And the sweet peppers give a nice balance with the salty little bite of those capers in there. Absolutely classic, absolutely delicious. And of course, this would be great served with some tartar sauce or some red pepper aioli, maybe made into a little burger. But I was out crabbing the other night, so I've got something else in mind. Let's just call that gout on a plate. Thanks for watching.